Hello, this is Joel. I'm not able to be here today, so I made this short video to introduce my group's topic, socioeconomic status. Socioeconomic status is one element in the complete multicultural picture that a counselor must consider to be effective for his or her clients. People living in poverty will face more challenges to positive quality of life than those not in poverty. These challenges include stress and strain, social isolation, and powerlessness. Early childhood development is an area in which the impact of low SES is particularly concerning. A higher incidence of adverse childhood experiences will have lifelong impacts on health, academic status, and choices regarding non-healthy behaviors. Much of what we know about the negative impacts of low SES come from Drs. Anda and Folletti and their 1997 study on adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, which tracked prevalence of ACEs and their long-term health outcomes for over 17,000 adults. ACEs are stressful experiences in early childhood such as abuse, violence, or malnutrition. People can experience multiple ACEs simultaneously. To understand how ACEs lead to poor childhood development, we should understand three kinds of stress: positive stress, tolerable stress, and toxic stress. Positive stress is both necessary and occasionally helpful to development and occurs in situations like meeting new people or traveling to a new place. Tolerable stress happens in times of more severe stressors, like death of a loved one or a natural disaster, and it has potential for lasting, negative effects, but it is usually buffered by things like helpful family relationships. Toxic stress is intense and prolonged, and causes the body's stress response system to always be on, a condition called allostatic overload. Allostatic overload can cause permanent damage, especially in children. Ongoing experiences like abuse, neglect, and violence can all produce toxic stress. People living in poverty often lack the kinds of social connection that could promote resilience, emotional, or material supports. A study by Scott supported family helps buffer the effects of low SES for Hispanic and African American youth, but the study also showed family is less helpful as SES decreases. Conditions of low SES can help lead to situations of crisis in which the individuals have little personal, social, and financial supports to help manage them. In 2011, Minnesota conducted an ACEs study of its residents and found that nearly 50% of the population report at least one ACE. The more ACEs an individual reports correlates with an increased likelihood of reporting a significant health problem in their life and more health-averse behaviors. The number of ACEs per person increases by ethnic group, particularly African American and American Indian. Educational level, having a high school diploma or less, being unmarried, unemployed, renting a home, and reporting food insecurity. For example, people who reported being worried about buying food were 5.6 times more likely to report 5 or more ACEs than those who reported never being worried about buying food. For a counselor, the ACEs study suggests that mental health and SES are intertwined with multicultural concerns that include race, education, age, gender, and more. People in poverty have a lack of control over their lives, which erodes self-efficacy and personal power. SES is a factor in developing a mental health concern and a barrier to getting help. For communities, SES and cultural factors can combine to form a complex array of barriers to adequate care. Because exposure to adversity decreases the potential to escape adversity throughout life, counselors must view SES as a factor in a broader multicultural perspective on counseling and consider the particular ethical issues it demands.